Man, some people think I'm a dick, some people think I'm a nice guy. I'm cool either way. Man, some people think I'm a dick, some people think I'm a nice guy. I'm cool either way.
And let's start the show. Welcome your host for Below Deck, Molly Lampwood.
My dancing is just shaking my hands. Me too. Welcome to Below Deck. Wait, no, this is welcome to Deckheads Chief Stew, where we talk about Below Deck and other Bravo fantasy shows.
Welcome to beautiful Croatia.
Oh my God, Croatia looks gorgeous behind you.
Thank you, I'm in Dubrovnik.
If you're curious, this is the pineapple gang in the ocean.
Pineapple gang.
Have you ever thought, what is a giant pineapple doing in the water? Well,
being perfect?
Being perfect.
Man, some people
Oh!
think I'm a dick, some people think I'm a nice guy.
Hello! That's some new music made by engineer Zach, but I am gonna fade it out.
Ooh, what's up, J-Mark 1919? Hi, Pineapple Gang. It's my first time I'm able to catch the stream live. Welcome, J-Mark 1919.
J-Mark, we're so happy to have you. Shout out. Thanks for catching the stream. Now, do you usually watch it on Twitch afterward, or do you watch it on the YouTube channel that we upload to? Let us know your thoughts in the chat. Kate Raft, always a pleasure.
K-Rock, we salute you. You are my chief stew in life.
The chief stew of our heart. Oh, J Mark, you say Twitch. Fascinating. Well, thank you for always watching. Yes, we do upload the video to YouTube as soon as we're done to give people who would like to watch it on there the chance to watch it, and because I know after a while it does disappear from Twitch, so I want to give people a chance to go back and really enjoy us.
Really savor our content.
And I just want to give YouTube more money. You guys know I'm in the pocket of big YouTube.
That's right. I, too, am in the pocket of big YouTube. I would like to be. We'll take it.
So us.
We love to just be sponsored.
Well,
we love being sponsored.
Hello, Bills, McConnor Talk. Wingo Shack, it's true. We have a YouTube. It's literally, I think, Deckheads Pod. Deckheads Chief Stews.
Wait. Are we YouTubers?
Yes. Oh my God. Where are my
Good.
sponsors?
We are YouTubers. Where's our invitation to next year's Met Ball for being influencers?
Oh my God, you're right.
We are influencers.
You're absolutely right. I didn't work this hard to not go to the Met Ball.
I didn't do a weekly 1 hour Twitch stream to not get the rewards immediately.
Now, I will say we only get about 30 to 50 views on the YouTube channel of people who are going back and watching it post haste. And that's not really used correctly, but I like it. So, you know what? Maybe we're not hitting the Met Ball numbers just yet, but one day.
We're small but influential, and also maybe we're more like Twitch streamers. We're more like with it, and now we're like a little ahead of YouTube. People just watch us do whatever.
We're live, baby.
We're just live, and that, you know what that means? It means we're dangerous.
Oh my.
We're
You're
live and
goddamn
dangerous.
right, Molly. We're dangerous.
Just like Thin Lizzy.
Two dangerous women behind their screens, untouchable.
Two crazy broads just talking hard about a little bit of Bravo television.
Talking hard. That's what we should change this show to. Talking hard.
Well, have you ever seen that movie with Christian Slater where he becomes like a radio DJ at the high school?
No.
Somebody in the chat will know what it is. That's his motto in that movie, is talk hard.
Wow.
I believe. And yet I can't think of the name of it. What is that movie called? What's the movie called where Christian Slater is like a bad boy proto-podcaster at his high school, and he encourages the students to do free speech, and then the principal's like, no, you can't. Oh, Pump Up the Volume. That's what it's called. First time chat, Arcady83. Thank you.
Welcome,
It's called
Arcady83.
Pump Up the Volume. It's a great movie. Definitely formative on me wanting to be a Twitch streamer like I am now.
I love that.
What are you drinking tonight?
I was going to ask you the same question. Why don't you go first? Because your
All right,
drink
well,
looks
I'm
interesting.
drinking. I brought my martini glass back because I broke one, but I have 3 others, and I'm finally feeling confident enough to use it again. I also saw people drinking espresso martinis at Figaro in Los Feliz, so now we're gonna make a plan and go there and drink espresso martinis. Or maybe when I'm in the valley, I'll bet we can find an espresso martini in the valley.
Oh, the valet, of course.
Valle.
Ooh, Kate Raff says you should put a shrimp in that bad
I
boy.
did eat 1 shrimp every minute for an hour for Kate Raft and Joan Ford's amazing Halt Con #1, Halt and Catch Fire Con. And after that, I was thinking about it last night because I ate a shrimp taco, and I was thinking about the time when I couldn't eat shrimp because I had eaten too many on camera.
Oh, really?
That's what I do it for, is for the love of the game.
You actually got sick of shrimp?
Yeah. I didn't know that I could. I think it was also just eating shrimp where it's like they're sitting out for the hour while you're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't like taking them straight out the fridge. I had just like a whole martini glass filled with shrimp because I was doing a shrimp tower.
The biggest
This is apple
martini.
cider.
Apple cider?
Apple cider. And I'm doing my Kathy Hilton voice a little bit.
I love
Because it's bottoms up with Oh, Kate, when you're not drinking, Kate says, I'm not drinking for the month of September, but in October, I want to find an espresso martini and drink it. Kate, I want us to go to Moon Shadows, where Mel Gibson got arrested, because I'm obsessed with going to restaurants where like bad things happened, and they have an espresso martini there. For sure.
Wow. I didn't know that's where Mel got arrested.
Oh yeah, that's where he was drunk driving home from.
Oh, really?
Moon Shadows. And also, for my birthday, which was yesterday.
Happy birthday, Molly.
Thank you. It's over. It's fine. We went on Sunday night to Nobu, Malibu.
What? Are you crazy?
Yeah. Because I've wanted to go there always,
Yeah.
and I wrote about it a little while ago because it is one of the Kardashians' favorite restaurants.
Birthday.
Birthday Nobu. It was so funny. 10 out of 10.
What was, first of
Recommend.
all, was it hard to get a reservation?
My brother did it. It was like my brother and his wife's idea, and they were bringing their kids, and it was sort of like, I don't know. It was like just a funny idea. And then we went and we were all sort of like surprised by how good the food actually is, because it's actually good. But it is also the kind of place where you can be like, my kids need like teriyaki chicken. Can you just do that? And they will.
Yeah.
There were no famous people when
That's
we
bullshit.
went,
That's bullshit.
but there were lots of fake famous people, which is just as good to me. Everybody was like a fake Kardashian or like a rich old man with like 3 22-year-old girls,
Right.
or a big old family of like old people celebrating a birthday or something. And it was great.
Well,
And the view is insane.
Kate
It's insanely
Raft.
expensive, is
Yeah.
what Kate says. It totally is. And I would say that all of those Malibu places are like, you should go for a drink. Because what you're really paying for is the view. And if you can pay, like, if you can eat something cheap for dinner and then go get a drink at like Moon Shadows or, you know, or Nobu or one of these places that has like these insane views that'll all be washed into the ocean with climate change. And just in general, not just
Yeah.
climate change.
Say goodbye to
Fires.
Nobu.
Yeah, say goodbye to Nobu. I wanted to say goodbye to it. But I found out Kathy Hilton and Paris Hilton were there the night before.
Ugh.
Just missed them. My
I
friend,
love that.
my pal Kathy. My family was like, "Would you go say hi to her?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, you've
At
been in her
Nobu,
home.
Malibu. I will say that I never run into people I've interviewed ever. I don't think I've ever run into somebody, a famous person that I interviewed,
Well,
like
you
in
should.
civilian life, but I'm often like at the same place a day or two later or earlier, it seems, which I think is funny.
If you spent every night at Nobu, you would.
Yeah, what if I just start staking out Nobu with Kate Raft every night until we see Kathy Hilton? Well, I mean, she and Paris are staking it out a little bit. Because it's a place that does paparazzi photos, and that's why.
Does it? Did you get
celebrities go there.
paparazzed?
I mean, by the moon. The moon was like all over us, you know, just like. Kate Raff says, let's become Nobu regulars. There were definitely some regulars. There were definitely like some rich guys in crazy cars just like pulling up in front of the line without explanation. But just the whole scene was like people that are trying to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, as a enjoyer of people watching, I like consensual people watching. So I like when people are like, please look at me.
Yeah.
And then I do.
Yeah. I mean, you'll find there's a lot of places like that in LA.
For sure. And that's why when people do get paparazzi'd, it's like they kind of wanted to, or they wouldn't have gone to that place probably.
Yeah. I've seen like I've walked. I used to work in Hollywood before pandemic, and our offices were still open, and I worked down the street from that Dream Hotel in Hollywood's entertainment district.
Yeah.
And I would have to
Yeah.
walk in front of it. I would occasionally go to the post office, which is down that way, to like drop stuff off. And I would walk in front of it, and there would be like paparazzi taking pictures of people, but like it almost felt like it was planned. Like there was only one paparazzo. Is that singular for paparazzi? Paparazzo.
I
And
believe it is.
yeah, but then it'd be like a person, like an influencer type, who would be like posing for this paparazzi, I guess, pretending that like there were hundreds of, yeah, but they were all like dressed up and like slow walking. No one slow walks if you're trying to avoid paparazzi. You get the fuck out of there.
That's what it's for. It's for people who want to be photographed fake spontaneously.
Yeah.
Kate Raff says I want to be a Nobu paparazzo. I think
you could do
I
it.
think fuckboy Kate Raft with a little like newsy hat, taking a
A newsy hat. Miss, please,
Miss, we
please,
got
miss.
your papes. We need to take your photographs for the papes.
I
I
the
just did something
people want to
really-
know.
The people gotta know. I just put my phone in a glass of water accidentally.
Just now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
Is
I
it
put
okay?
this glass of water in this hole in this chair, and then I like wasn't thinking and just put my phone in the
Oh,
same
wow.
pocket, and I just realized what I did. So
How long was it in there?
probably a couple good minutes. Should I just let it dry out, I guess?
Is it
If anybody's
acting
ever
weird?
dropped your phone, it's not it's like not on.
Oh, okay.
If
That's a
anyone
situation.
knows what to do when you drop your phone in water, I think you're supposed to put it in
Yeah,
rice.
put it in
Right?
rice.
Should
Put
I go do that? I'm gonna
Yeah.
go do that. Real
Okay,
quick.
I'll vamp.
All right, you vamp. This is
Okay.
what happens when it's live.
Yeah. Molly has put her phone in a cup of water, so we are vamping, baby. Wingo Shack. You live in the LA area? Cool. You got your passport at that post office. Yeah, that's a great post office. Very big, very nice. That's where our former offices were. I mean, I guess they're still our offices, but we don't go in there. That Dream, it's funny, we go to the rooftop restaurant sometimes at that Dream Hotel when we're trying to have we had a few holiday dinners there. And yeah, it's very much like a Nobu style where it's all like fake rich people, or not, I mean, I'm sure they're rich, but like fake famous people who just like look famous but are just like LA people who just want to look like they're famous. It's a real rough scene, and that's the LA experience. McConnor says, anything new in the F1 world? Yeah. Did you guys see this race this weekend? Basically, Max Verstappen tried to murder Lewis Hamilton. I'm just joking, but there was a really rough accident, and Max Verstappen's car basically drove over Lewis Hamilton's car, and the halo is the halo that comes out of the top of the F1 car saved Lewis's life. So that's interesting. And then that led to Daniel Ricciardo winning the Monza race, and he hasn't won in a while, but he's like a known competitor. Like, he's done well for himself. It's just been a while since he's won. So that happened. And yes, Jack on Cable TV says also Lewis brought 7 unknown black designers to the Met Gala. Yeah, there's also a really great photo of Lewis Hamilton with Tessa Thompson and Zoe Kravitz, like looking very unimpressed and disgusted at something at the Met Gala, like at someone's outfit, and we can't figure out whose it was. Have you seen this photo?
No.
I'll text it to you. Oh God, your phone! Damn it!
You can't text me anything.
Damn. Well, here I'll just hold the. Here's what I'll do.
I put it in rice. I weirdly bought rice last week for some reason, and
So that's Zoe Kravitz and Tessa Thompson, and the person with the Met Gala on his head, that's Lewis Hamilton making a face like, ugh. And we can't figure out who it was, but we think people have speculated that it's Kim Kardashian when she showed up in that all blackface outfit.
I mean, I would make that face if I saw a haint. If I saw a spirit walking through a ghostly specter in a long black veil. She looked so silly. Everybody looked so bad.
Everyone looked silly at that thing.
I feel like I'm of two minds about it, because on the one hand it's like it's an award show with no awards, which is fine, right? Like, they should just make it an award show so it has like a fake reason to exist instead of just
what's the award they're giving out? Like best fashion faux pas?
I mean, I feel like no matter how specific the theme is, people fuck it up. People don't do it. It's just sort of like it's just like a brand event for designers to be like, here's who's sponsored by our brand right now,
Yeah, here's
wearing a
some
gown.
wild shit I created.
I saw somebody kind of breaking it down, somebody who does care. I also just like I don't care about prom like events, you know? I don't enjoy getting all dressed up that much. I like it occasionally, but if it were my job, I would probably, or if I had to like, I don't know. It's not for me. I don't feel comfortable in all that glam, and I doubt anyone else does. And ever since Gwyneth Paltrow said it's like not fun and smells bad, I sort of believed her, you know?
It smells bad? In what regard?
I think just it's like a lot of people crowded in close together in old buildings, you
Huh.
know?
Well, you know what, I
And
bet.
she said the food was bad, which Kiki Palmer also confirmed last night by saying, by posting a photo of like, here's why they don't show you the food because it's gross.
What was it? I didn't see. Where'd she
It was
post
just
it?
like it just looked like hotel food or like wedding food, you know?
That makes sense.
The whole thing is like a wedding. It's like for the wedding of art and commerce. But it's like an art fair or something. It's all just like I don't know. It's so ephemeral. It's like even more than award shows because people talk about who won the awards. Like the Met Ball is the kind of thing that's meant to be like live tweeted and then just immediately forgotten and like disappear from your memory.
That's the
Yeah,
food.
that's the plate. Well, because people are saying it's like a charity ball or whatever, so it costs like $35,000 a ticket.
And they give you like just roasted veggies.
Yeah, and they just give you like some trash, some steam tray trash you would get anywhere.
Okay. Okay, Met Ball.
You know what I did actually think about at
Hmm.
Nobu
Yeah.
was how it kind of reminded me of Below Deck because it's such a well-oiled machine there. It's like extremely bustling all the time, and there's like a million servers just like going out and navigating all these like insane influencer people.
Mm-hmm.
And just sort of the vibe in general. I was just like, I feel like I'm on a ship because I'm looking at the ocean. Probably why.
Sounds delicious. I'll go one day.
Yeah.
I've never just considered it because it just feels like such a situation to drive out to Malibu and go to a sushi spot. That's supposed
I
to
had
cost
never-
me an
I, like-
arm and a leg.
Kate and I had talked about it, but I had sort of been thinking about it since I wrote that story of just like, and also just I think after COVID, I feel like I should just do it. If I want to go to some weird place just to see what it's like, I should just go. I'll just go once and see.
Give me a ballpark of how much it ended up running.
Oh,
you.
I purposely didn't look.
Really? God, I'm dying to know. That could be the end all be all for me. Like, am I going or not? Because if it's like
it was my birthday, and
your family treated you.
I told my brother, yeah, he could take this one.
You got this right.
But also, like, his kids were with us, and they were like super on good behavior the whole time. It was just fun. It was fun to go to a restaurant. Who knew?
That's nice. Now, is it half inside outside? I can't.
Yeah. It's like open patio, but there's like a indoors too.
Got it.
It
All right.
It was popping off.
The contact says below deck Nobu.
That's right. I mean, I would watch a good restaurant show. Like Vanderpump Rules is ostensibly a restaurant show, but they obviously like stopped being interested in the restaurant part of it very fast.
Yeah.
But I would just watch a show that's just about because chefs are crazy. That's like a trope on Below Deck, but it's also something that's true in real life.
I mean, I would watch a spin-off of Ben's restaurant if he ever started one.
Somebody on Twitter said last week they want a
Allison
Below Deck
Levy.
chef. Oh, yes. Who was it?
Allison Levy?
Yes. Allison Levy said they should do a Below Deck Top Chef with all the crazy Below Deck chefs.
And Mila has to be included.
Yeah.
We need everybody.
And I love that idea. That would be great. They should do that.
Who do you think would win a below deck Top Chef?
I don't know. That's a good question. They're all fussy and incompetent in different ways. I think Ben would win.
Ben or Rachel?
Yeah. But they love to give it to a straight white man at the end of the Top Chef always. So.
Always. What the hell?
I always fall for it. I'm always like, this year. I mean, like a couple times they've done okay, but too many times I've been like, they won't scam me this year by reverse editing to make me think this idiot's gonna win, and then he does win.
J Mark says Adrian would win, but you know what? I don't know how far Adrian would get. He might get accused of sexual harassment of some kind. He's too
Kate Raff
horny
says
in how he
Ben
talks.
Kate Raff says Ben would absolutely win. I'm so attracted to Ben. Ben is hosting a cruise, and I want to go on it.
I mean, honestly,
McConnor
post-pandemic, I wouldn't recommend a single cruise.
I probably wouldn't go on a cruise, but McConnor Talk says Ben absolutely should have his own Top Chef, Hell's Kitchen, etc. cooking show on Bravo. Yeah, I'm surprised they don't spin
You could
him
host
off. He's so great.
Boat galley rescue.
Yeah.
You know, like bar
Ooh.
rescue.
I mean, boat cooking is like chopped a little bit. What I like about it is the sort of limitedness of it. Okay, let's talk about what you're drinking.
I'm just drinking a Diet Coke. Nothing exciting.
Well, that's nice. That's good. I'm cashing this out. I guess I'm gonna drink the water I dropped my phone in. The question is, should I eat the rice that I am soaking my phone in?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Maybe that's a Google.
Chat. Good question for the chat. After you soak your phone in rice, after you drop it in a glass of water or while you're doing your live stream, could you boil the rice? Because wouldn't the rice
boil
off the germs? No, I didn't use cooked rice. I used raw rice. And I'm saying
Kate Rapp. Oh no, that's
if
J
it's
Mark.
uncooked, you can use it. That's what I'm saying. It's like after my phone is in the bowl of uncooked rice.
Yeah.
After I'm done drying my phone out in the rice, should I cook the rice?
I guess. You may as well.
I'd feel bad just throwing it away.
Nah, yeah, you shouldn't waste it. That's very, I mean, I guess goes to Nobu once, you know? I don't know what's up with you anymore.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Who knows? I only eat rice that a phone has soaked in now.
I got a new comb I wanted to show you. It's like a round.
So nice. I love it. I thought it was a tiara.
It is. That's why I like it. It's funny. I'm like,
It's really cool. I feel like there's a lot of fun hair accessories right now. This is also specifically directed at Kate Raft in the chat. Connor Talk says you might be able to absorb some pure 5G from the phone rice. That's what I want.
that'll be good because then I can always find you. I can track you.
I want those adaptogens you can only get.
I love
5G rice. That sounds good.
Yeah. I would
So
eat
let's
it.
let's talk about some Real Housewives. I'll stop talking about hair accessories, even though I could do another hard 20 minutes on hair accessories.
Yeah, so Real Housewives. I will say I'm behind on Potomac. I need to watch
So
this
am I.
Sunday's
So
episode.
we could just focus on Salt Lake in the end.
Oh, I forgot about Salt Lake. I will say really quickly, I think Candace is an asshole on Potomac. I think she is truly a piece of shit. I can't with her. Her, first of all, in the last episode, not this Sunday's episode, but the Sunday before that. Did you watch that one?
I think I'm all caught up except for the most recent.
Okay, me too.
If you're talking about the husbander stuff, is that
Yes.
what we're talking about
Well,
here?
one,
Yeah, I
that-
have a lot of feelings about that.
That was rough, where she's like, how are you gonna like go do something when I need you? And it's like, chill. He literally says everything is set up and you have people around you, and then she's like making him feel bad, and then she sews up and calls Ashley wide and like big foreheaded, like being rude as hell. And body shaming her, actually body shaming her, even though she
I don't
claims
even
she's
know
not.
if I got up to that part. To Ashley?
It was at the way end where like they meet
Oh,
up for
maybe
Robin's
I don't think I
drinks.
finished the episode, actually.
It
Maybe I'm
gets
even more
bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think Candace is becoming a show villain, and she's one of those people who's interesting because I love when somebody doesn't realize they're getting a villain edit and they think they're getting like the hero edit, where it's like, I'm a businesswoman, like juggling it all and having my singing career. And it's like, no, like people don't like you anymore because you were mean to Ashley.
But it's not even that she was mean to Ashley. Like she's full on body shaming her.
Right,
It's
which is
wild
like
what she's saying.
there are things you could like come for about Ashley, but that's like not one of them.
Yeah, she's like, how dare you come in here with your wide ass, like with your big ass forehead, like being like really inflammatory about her looks. And it's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean, they're talking a lot about people's bodies this year, especially because of the Dr. Wendy stuff too, where they're like, well, why would you, and then Mia also being sort of like upfront about having had a lot of different surgeries.
Also, the revelation that Mia got a bunch of burns on her body from like a cooking accident when she was a child. She learned that from her mom. Well, I mean, she knew it happened because she has the scars, but she didn't remember
I saw
it.
that part right where she met up with her mom and talked about. Yeah, I mean, like, she's a pretty good ad, I think. She brings some good conflict.
Yeah, that was like a real I teared up in that moment because she was like, her mom was like, I came home and I was like, how is she burning herself? Her dad is there, but then she came home and the dad was in the basement with another woman while his daughter was like burning.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucked.
Yeah, it's fucked and it's sad.
You don't
'cause
come
her
back
mom-
from that.
Yeah, and her mom seemed kind of nice now. And
Yeah.
it also like adds depth to Mia, obviously, who they tried to portray at first as just a gold digger. She was really funny on Watch What Happens Live also because they were like, "Who's the best businesswoman?" And she
She
like,
goes, "Can I say me?"
"Yeah, can I say me?"
Yeah. All right, let's talk Salt Lake.
Yes.
Wow. I just really quickly want to say,
Wow.
Bravo does not give a fuck.
Let's just put it on the table. Wow.
Wow. Oh, wow.
I watched it twice
Mm-hmm.
in a row.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best. It's just far and above the best of the Housewives right now. It's just doing what the others cannot do, and
It's
it's incredible coming on the heels of the Erica Jane season of Beverly Hills, which was like the first. I mean, I like the Denise Richards stuff too, but like this was like the shit went down on camera.
This
the
is
whole
Real
time.
Housewives true crime at this point.
It's Real Housewives true crime, and they're building a rogues gallery. Like, I was doing joke yesterday of like, oh, they should put on Chicago in jail with Erica Jane and Jen Shah. But truly, it's like Jen Shah is amazing for letting it all happen on camera. Maybe she thinks it's going to exonerate her. Who knows? That's what I think Erica Jean, I'm already forgetting her name.
Jane.
She's already fading out of memory because she's poor now, so the other housewives can't remember her anymore.
Right. So they start the episode with them all getting on a bus to go. Jen gets a call. She turns to not Heather, Whitney, and is like, hey, can you turn off my mic pack? Yeah. Hey, guys, so sorry. I gotta go. And then, boom, feds arrive. Like, where's Jen Shah? And everyone's like, what?
No, it
what?
was like opening, just Goodfellas, the helicopters are coming. My favorite, as a helicopter flies overhead here.
Like,
It was
Jen Shah
incredible.
was like, peel out. Like,
What I also think is like really shamazing about this scandal is that in Erica's case, Erica is like an accessory to a crime.
Mhm.
Like maybe she's culpable, maybe she's complicit, maybe she knew what was going on, maybe she didn't. I honestly don't know how much she knew and when at this point.
Mhm.
She's definitely going down for it. Um, but she didn't do the stealing herself necessarily. It wasn't her idea to steal from the widows and orphans. Jen Shaw was like, let's rob some old people."
Well, so
Jen Shaw's husband is a coach. He's not the scam. He's not even involved in the scam, I think, right?
I don't know what Coach Shaw seems like a righteous man, so I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's like that's her high school or college
Yeah.
boyfriend. They've been together forever. It seems like a classic, like, stay-at-home mom gets an MLM type scam because it's something you can do while your husband's
So-
traveling the country playing college basketball,
football.
football,
Funny.
coaching, college football.
It's the Shaws.
She's robocalling, phone phishing or whatever, just like little innocent senior citizens and taking all of their money and then using it to rent a fake house called the Shaw Chalet for the first season of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And then on the second season, they've moved to a different Shaw Chalet. Kate Raft has done some amazing work on how none of these people live in the houses that we see. They all have reality TV houses, except for Kathy Hilton. That's her real house, surprisingly enough. She really let them film that dinner party in her real house. Because you could just show any room and be like, it's this person's dining room, and like the viewer doesn't know because creative editing.
Yeah, I will say so. Yeah, everyone's upgraded, but like on the Shaw family note, it does sound like it was Coach Shaw who tipped off Jen that the feds were coming for her, and then also it feels like, God,
That's just called being ride or die. You tip the
Yeah.
feds. You tell your wife the feds are coming. That's called being a good husband.
yeah. And I mean, the other thing is like, I don't know. He just seems like such a good person. It's hard to like be like everyone loves Coach Shaw.
But again, like, who seeks that kind of adulation? Is there something sinister behind the scenes?
I don't know, man.
Why do they live in Salt Lake City?
I
of
will
all
say,
places?
I was speculating because he apparently tried to get a divorce at some point because something was going on between them, and a part of me was like, did he know? Was he tipped off? I got to get out of here. Like Erica Jane was
Well,
potentially
he-
with Tom Girardi.
I think he also because I think they even showed that a little bit in this episode that he like wanted to leave her at one point.
Yeah,
But she made it sound because it was like because she's so intense,
right.
because she gets into fights with people and
Which
has
I could
like
see.
feuds and like will pop off at somebody at a public event, and
Yeah.
he's a coach and wants to like have this
Yeah,
respectful. He doesn't want her to make him look bad. However,
understandable.
is it the scamming that makes her look bad more than the getting in fights with people on a reality TV show that he obviously knows she signed up for? It does seem like, also because it was the first season of Salt Lake City, you could see all of the husbands sort of navigating
Mm-hmm.
the idea of being on television with their wives now.
Mm-hmm.
And I love what's happening with Whitney and her weird old husband and his hot sons.
God, creepy.
I thought at first I was maybe just imagining that she was flirting with her stepsons, but huge Brazzers vibes the whole time. And when she said that thing about like sometimes they bring over their friends and it's my friends from high school.
God,
I was like-
that relationship's very strange to me. Like it just because
Well,
they
the
keep
whole
going to
thing
like
is-
Sturgis, like they're just like want to fuck on motorcycles. I'm like, get
The
out of
whole
here.
thing is like his like it's his young wife fantasy, but it's also might be his son's stepmill fantasy. Just saying. Because it does seem like she maybe has more in common with his sons because they're like her age than she does with her husband, who's like an old ex-Mormon weirdo.
I just have beef with them because of their like super into Sturgis super spreader event situation. Like they're just like down.
Well, that's what I'm
for
saying
shit
too. Is like, do you
that.
think the sons are like the sons were just so funny because there were three of them. They all kind of look like they're like the Brady Bunch, Mormon hipster sons.
Like Hanson Bros.
Yeah. Well, I wonder, I don't know. I wonder if we'll hear about the vaccine on this season because now I'm very curious after the Met Ball also about who's not getting the vaccine. And
Did we learn about that at the Met Ball?
Yeah, because a bunch of people didn't show up.
Oh, because
and
you had to be
so
vaccinated?
You had to be vaccinated, so
Isn't that why Kylie Jenner pulled out?
maybe.
Hmm.
She might have just pulled out because she had anxiety, though, because I feel like she does that sometimes. But and she's pregnant or had a baby. I don't know. Somebody will know. But Gigi Hadid went. Bella Hadid did not go. If you catch my drift. Also, Dua Lipa, some people think, because she dates Anwar Hadid. This is all Real Housewives related, so we can talk about it. But also, Nicki Minaj just straight up said that she didn't go because she wasn't vaccinated.
The big balls situation.
But then she did the big ball situation. But then she did a really funny, she did kind of the Alex Jones walk back where she was like, "Oh, I said I didn't get it yet. I didn't say I wasn't going to get it. I just said I want to be educated and informed, and that's why I'm asking you, the Barbs, to tell me, which vaccine I should get." And then she attacked the press for saying that she had said she was anti-vax because she was like, "Oh, I didn't say that. I said I wasn't vaxxed yet. I didn't say I wouldn't
my
get it."
cousin's friend's brother's son has big balls. Okay.
But she's just such a good troll. I can't knock the trolling because it's then people will listen to your radio show and hear what you have to say.
Yeah, so I think this season of Salt Lake City is going to be great.
I think it's going to be incredible. I think it's going to be... I just love Salt Lake City too, because when it comes out, when it's fire season in LA and it's all hot and disgusting here, and then
they're in snow.
Then we get to go to a place where there's snow in our minds.
I did ask my dad if he'd ever move back to Salt Lake City, and he was like, "Hell no. Do you know how cold it is there?" He's like, "When you get old, the heat is better for you." And I was like, "Are you going to move to Florida?" And he's like, "No, I live in California."
My parents say stuff like that about how they like the desert heat, Palm Springs stuff. And I'm just like, you guys are crazy. And also, none of you understand what it's like to be a ginger in California and just you can't be outside.
Are neither of your parents ginger?
No. And my brother and I are both redheads.
So there's some gene there.
Some genes. Yeah, I think it skips a generation, but it's funny we both turned out redheads because we're not twins or anything. Can't be outside when the hot sun is happening. I just don't enjoy it. Also, I know some people like just the waves of dry heat or whatever, but no. There's obviously such a thing as too cold. It can be too cold. I've been too cold in my life, but I like to strike a balance.
Well, I agree.
Like a mild climate. We're from California.
I like that as well.
We can tolerate.
I don't want to be too hot, and I also don't want to be too cold. I would
That's what I like.
Perfect
Like a
75 or something.
Somewhere in the 50. My ideal is when the highs are in the 70s and the lows are in the 50s.
Yeah,
maybe
easy
even
peasy.
the 40s. That's great. And
Easy
that is to me
peasy.
fall. That's what I look forward to, is when it's no longer 100 degrees every day and it gets cold enough to wear a jacket. That's all I want.
Yeah. Peze, as I say. All right, what are your predictions for Salt Lake City this season?
I have no idea. I was excited that Mary Cosby has a podcast, much like our...
The podcast cannot be good based off what we saw.
I mean... I'm gonna listen to it probably to see what it's like. What do you think the evangelist podcast market?
I don't know. It seems like they start with 45 minutes of prayers, and then what?
But I'm saying, what did we talk about for 45 minutes at the beginning? You're just listening to people's voices, right?
Yeah, that's true. But I won't. I refuse to bump myself in with Mary Cosby.
No, but I do just love when they all get podcasts and then they all get mad at each other about saying things on the podcast
Oh
that they
yeah,
didn't
Summer
say
House
to
style.
their face.
You
Summer
said on
House
a
style.
podcast, I have a Coke problem or whatever.
That's right. Why don't you say it to my face?
Oh, there's
You
that
said it on
5G
your
water.
podcast. You got a real big mouth on your podcast.
I will also say, from Potomac, we learned that our sisters in the podcasting game are Robin and Giselle, who are also on the iHeartRadio network with us.
Yeah, congratulations to our fellow podcasters on the iHeart network, Robin and Giselle. I love Robin. I have a real
do
soft
too.
spot for Robin.
Me too.
I don't know that I think she and Juan should be together
Same.
necessarily, but I understand why they've also just been together for so long at this point. It's like hard for them to imagine anything else.
Correctamundo.
I feel like they might get married and then break up. That's my
Yas.
Potomac prediction.
I think I agree with you.
Or do like a vow renewal and then break up like everyone who ever does the vow renewal does.
Are you saying Karen?
It's everybody.
Karen
I don't
and
know
her
if
husband
Karen will break up though, because I think Karen will, as Erica said, hold that man's hand till he dies. I do. And I don't know, man. I think Whitney's got some. I feel like they didn't introduce those stepsons for no reason. Like, I would love the plot line of like the stepmom who starts partying with people her own age instead of hanging out with her loser right wing husband. Because I think they probably also got off so much on the fact that it was like so taboo for them to have an affair with each other that it's like, now what are you left with? Like an old guy who sucks.
I will say the cake falling scene thing like was hilarious.
That was hilarious. And Whitney's like a dum-dum.
Yeah.
In a charming way, but she reminds me of some of the Dallas Real Housewives where I'm like, is this charming dum-dum act hiding like a molten core of racism?
Oh, yes. So, should we talk about on that note? Yes. Should we talk about
Speaking
some
of
Below
racism,
Deck?
yeah, let's talk about Below Deck this week.
So, sorry we're 48 minutes in and we're only starting. Whatever.
That's how the show works. We are
Yeah.
just like Mary Cod. That was 45 minutes of prayer
Yep.
about Salt Lake City.
about Real Housewives, okay?
Yeah, Joseph Smith told us
Amen.
to do it. Amen.
So, Below Deck Mediterranean Season 6, Episode 12. Again, we are on the normal air schedule and not the ahead stream schedule that drops it early. So, yeah, the show starts with Katie firing Delaney, but being like, you should stay on and go out with us these next 2 days. And we learned that Delaney
was so confusing, by the way. Can
How
I just
so?
say, because I was like, they fired Delaney, and then it was like, no, they just moved her to the deck, and then it was like, no, they did fire her. They just moved her to the deck temporarily until the charter was over. That just wasn't articulated well to me.
No, I think what happened is she was fired, but they were giving her one last like hurrah to like be on the deck.
But I think that I just couldn't tell what was going on. I thought they had like just moved her to permanently to above deck. And then I was confused when they were like, okay, now she's leaving for real, bye.
Yeah, so I believe she was just getting one last hurrah because she said she's a deck stew on her shit, but her resume, but I don't fucking know anymore. But yeah, we also learned that she's cool with non-monogamy and polyamorous relationships.
She and Mathew let us all know that they both are into the poly lifestyle. And then it was like, oh, are the two worst people in the world gonna hook up now?
Which I was like, I don't understand why Chef Mathew is pretending like he's so cool with Delaney, even though the whole time he was demanding she be fired.
Because he only wanted her to be fired because it was like gonna infringe on his bunk. That's the only reason he cared about. He wanted them. He said even he'd rather they fire Lexi. He doesn't care who gets fired.
And he
cares
just
that
wants
he had
his tip to be
move. Yeah, he just doesn't want an
more.
extra person. He wants them to fire Lexi because he sucks. Because she's the only person who will tell him he sucks.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll get into that. I got thoughts, but yeah, they let Delaney dock, and she messes up her first throw, but then gets the second. And Malia immediately is like, I don't think Delaney has as much experience as she claims to have.
McConnor Talk says, I still don't understand why the bunk swap was such a big deal. How long could that have taken? An hour? It wasn't that it would take time to swap bunks. It was that the new arrangement was disagreeable to Mathew. I think he has his own like chef's quarters as it is now, and he was going to have to move into a bunk with somebody like an engineer or something, and he just didn't want to do that because he's a fucking baby.
Yeah.
And it is because they have these new rules about men and women not bunking together, which again seems really stupid and also like just so heterosexual. Like, okay, well, anytime anyone's like sleeping in a room together, there's like a chance they could be sexually assaulted. You should just take that into like, I don't know. You should have a system in place where you vet people so you're not worried about that happening and people can report and not feel scared to be like, this guy's sketchy, he gives me bad vibes, because that would be the first thing I would say about fucking Mathew. It's like, this guy's sketchy, he gives me a bad vibe. Shout out to television's Jerry O'Connell, who was very good on Watch What Happens Live, kind of talking shit on Mathew and defending Lexi a little bit.
Okay, I want to hear about that in a second, but real quick, let's shout out I Roll Up My Sleeves for the follow. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for the follow. Jerry O'Connell was like, he just kept saying Mathew has a dark energy.
He does!
Like, he does! Fully. Where they were like, whose side do you take, Mathew or Lexi? And he was like, Lexi.
Yes!
Mathew has a bad vibe, and I've gotten a bad vibe from him since the moment we first saw him.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's so weird that now the rest of them are all being like, oh, our buddy Mathew. We're all getting shots with Mathew.
Yes, I want to get into that. I want to get into the night out and the next day. But real quick, let's... so the guests leave. They're very happy with the food and the deck crew and all the water toys. And they leave a $17K tip. That's good money. And then the next day, they get the next day off. Or they get the night off and they get the next day off because they're going to go out to dinner. And then they get to spend the whole next day at Kirka Falls. Or no, they get to go play water sports the next morning, and then the next afternoon they're going to Kirka Falls as their day off. So that night they go out, and that's when Delaney, Delaney, and Mathew bond over sex parties, which is creepy.
Again, nothing wrong with sex parties. Pro sex parties.
Yeah.
Sex positive, like the most recent season of The Bachelor. It's just the idea of Mathew and or Delaney having sex with anyone.
It's specifically repulsive. Those two I don't want to hear about.
Specifically
their sex
the two of them. Also the way they both are like, I'm too much man and or woman for just one partner. It's
Doubt
like,
it.
they're like, nobody likes me, so I'm going to say that I'm spread too thin.
I don't
and
care
then
for either of them.
Delaney is like, let me be the biggest attention whore for the rest of the show while I'm here.
Yeah, so one thing that kind of starts to annoy Mathew is that David gives a toast and he brings up Matt's knee, and Lexi starts filling Delaney in, and she's like, it was bullshit. He was like, he just left us. It was bullshit. And then Matthew's like, David's talking right now, so you don't need to talk, Lexi, basically. And then it's like, whatever. And everyone's like super supporting Matt, but Lexi isn't buying it. She's like, okay, like, why is everyone like loving Matt? Like, Matt is literally like, Katie, you're my favorite chief stew ever. And she's like,
so
I love
disgusting.
you. You're my favorite chef too. And I'm like, that's not true. He's a monster. And what he does is he fucking manipulates you guys by being like, I'm such a great guy. I'm such a great guy. And it's like, fuck you. You're a creep.
He's not a great guy. And it's so weird that they suddenly all were like, oh, Mathew, we're so happy you stayed after you had panic attacks and tried to leave 5 times.
And then like
It's
said fucked up shit the
are
whole
you,
time.
or are you all just galvanizing each other against Lexi in a weird like display of like Lord of the Flies shit where they're
Yes.
like, you know, Eric, like they, you know, not to compare her to Erica Jane, but again, it is like to watch a group turn on somebody and just like push them out of the group. That's part of what Bravo shows are good for.
Yeah, I mean, so Malia at one point tells Delaney to not be afraid to be green on deck, and that like, and talk to her about her resume, and Delaney's like, my resume's honest, and Malia's like, well, you wrote Deck Stew, but you're not a stew, and she's like, I don't know what is going on. They're just like, I don't know.
Delaney's like, Malia's trying to give her advice, which is also like Malia being such a little like Lisa Simpson, being like, she'll want to hear from me about how to do better. And Delaney's like, actually, I'm perfect, and I don't understand why they're firing me at all, because I'm great at everything I do. Here's a handstand. I'm gonna do a handstand constantly, because I'm a live, laugh, love psycho. Um, one of my favorite moments was when, I think it was when somebody was chasing Delaney, and they asked if he was a psychophile.
Right, that was David. Okay, so David, so they all go back to the boat to continue drinking and partying. And David says he's going to shoot his shot with Delaney. But then, like, as they're all partying, okay, so this is what happens when David gets out of the hot tub. And he's like, first of all, he spends the whole time leading up to this walking around the edge of a wet hot tub. So he's already flirting with danger. He could have slipped at any point. But he goes to walk off the hot tub and walk onto, I guess, another part of the boat and misses it. You see his foot just never making contact, and he just falls in what looks like the most painful way.
Oh, it looks so painful, and he recovers so fast because he's trying to be like, it's no big deal, and it's clearly like,
But I think it's he's also like wasted.
yeah, like you hit a wet deck just like face first. Oh my god!
But it was like, and then he was like
Yeah, it's
back up
horrible.
in
It was
standing
horrible.
position, and you can tell he had just had the wind knocked out of him, but he just like
Yeah.
was so drunk he couldn't process what had
No,
just
it's
happened.
like the reason they tell you not to run around the pool
Yeah, it
is
was
that because you don't want
wild.
to do fucking that.
He's lucky he didn't have a concussion or knock himself out cold.
Oh, I thought it was going to be so much worse. Nikki Beck says once I drunkenly slipped down some stairs and had a bruise like that on my ass for months. I think it's also like when you do something like that, you're hurt twice, you know, once in your body and once in your pride.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell that he also was just like, I don't want anyone, like, because he kept trying to flirt with Delaney after that too.
Yeah, he
You're
kept
just
being like,
bro,
oh, I might
hang
as
it
well
up.
keep trying.
Hang it up. You're in pain. Go ice your shit. You don't want to fuck right now. Just go to bed.
Yeah.
Bro.
He
It's
does
over.
make one last like, cause so
Well, she was like leading him on till the end because she's
Yeah.
just like, I'll take attention from anywhere. Look at me. I'm a circus clown. Now I'm wearing a leopard print suit
Yeah.
doing a handstand. Let's do circus aerobics yoga.
that was very like Burning Man for her to pull out her cheetah suit.
I roll up my t-shirt sleeve, says, I have a challenge for Molly. What is your challenge? If it's creepy, we're going to block you.
Yeah,
so
what
you
is
know.
this? I roll up my sleeves. T-shirt sleeves. I challenge you to roll up your t-shirt sleeves all the way up to keep them at the string.
Oh
'cause
yeah,
it's
that's
in
not
my
creepy.
name.
I'll do that. All right. I do roll up my t-shirt sleeves sometimes. In fact, it's really hot in here also. So. All right.
Okay. So, yeah, they go back, or whatever. They're back on the thing. David eats shit. I don't know. He seems fine, except for he's clearly not fine, but he's drunk, so it doesn't matter. And then, so Katie's really drunk, and she's like crying to her mom about how it's her best friend's like about to give birth, and she feels so guilty because she's like here dealing with this nonsense and says there's more to life than being a chief stew. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, there is. She's a pretty good Chief Stew, I have to say. She's not a great reality TV character because she's not that bitchy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like she's not as fun as Kate or Hannah, but
Yeah.
she is good at her job, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I'm like, you know what, don't do this again, you know? Go back home. But then a
Yeah.
part of me is always like, I wonder like, but what could they do at home?
Oh, they don't want to be home. They think they want to be home, but they don't. It's like being a touring musician or something. It's like that's what you want in some way, is to never be anywhere too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Okay.
they'd all get antsy on land. They'd all get those land legs.
So this was like a land legs. You're right, you don't want that.
You know, you got to get your sea legs back. No land legs.
Okay, now this is where it gets weird. Was the first defense of Mathew that I found weird. So Lexi is like, look, Mathew and I never liked each other, what, blah, blah, blah. But I will say Mathew is a great chef. And then Z gets all defensive and goes, Mathew is a great human being. And she's like, what? Why are you why are you getting defensive for him? Like, what the fuck? And it's like, yeah, why? What was that?
I mean, it's because Lexi like shoved him, right?
I don't know, but it's like he's not a great human being.
No, he's not at all. But I think it was just because she shoved him, so he hates her. So it's the Erica Sutton thing. He's siding with someone who sucks because he hates the other person even more, even though they're not wrong.
I thought that was
weird. I also thought there was something going on that we see a lot on Below Deck, but hadn't seen a ton of this season until now, which there was like a boys club thing where they all kind of like teamed up, like we're men, like Lexi's a bitch. We all fucking hate Lexi because we're the fucking boat bros, and it's like you all need to have more solidarity with Lexi as like your coworker, but also
as like a human being who's there dealing with shit.
Yeah. And also like
that sucked.
If you're, I don't know. I was also a little bit like, hey Z, as like one of very few Black employees in this industry, maybe don't throw your fellow Black employee under the bus so easily.
Or also maybe don't create more reason for tension between these two people who don't like each other.
Yeah, and also just like you don't have to cape for Matt. You can just like stay out of it.
Yeah.
You don't
That's
have to be
what's
like,
surreal
Matt's
to me.
Great, and we love him. It's like, is he and do you? He's bad at his job. He's a creepy weirdo, and he almost fucked up all of your money like several times.
So Zoe McPhee says, and also Court, his romantic interest, doesn't like her, so by default he's taking sides. I mean, that's stupid. Like I understand that, and that sucks.
He probably realized Courtney wasn't gonna have sex with him, so he had just like extra feelings to put towards something else.
Right. So yeah, and then like the deck crew and Matt go outside to talk shit about Lexi, and they say they want Delaney to stay and Lexi to go.
Which again, like, sorry, you can't overrule the actual people in charge, and also like, ugh.
J Mark says, was this the scene that Z was so shit-faced we started laughing? No, that's okay. So that's the next day. Z's been like shit-faced for like 2 days straight. So the next day, it's the day off. David has his bruised legs. Lexi chooses to sleep in instead of going to do water sports in the cold water in the morning with them. So she stays behind. So they do all that. Courtney tells Lloyd that Z is her friend, and but like Lloyd's like, well, he ordered literally a dozen roses to come for you later, but he like obviously likes you more than she likes him. Like she's friend zoning Z.
But she's friend zoning him by being like, I love you constantly, which is not how you friend zone somebody. It's like she led him on too hard, I think, if she knew the whole time that she wasn't gonna like do anything with him. It's like she for sure acted like she was interested. So it's like, I don't know, to be like, oh, he's reading the signals all wrong. It's like, no, he's reading the signals correctly. You just don't mean it. You just do that to everybody. And he's also kind of young and naive and maybe doesn't know about, women like Courtney that are just flirting for sport, you know? Because I think she like has some affection for him, but I think it's also like she can tell that he is again so young and naive that like she can't casually make out with him again because he's gonna fall in love.
But if she gets drunk enough, she doesn't care.
Well, she'll make out with him when she gets drunk, but it's like I don't think she's going to catch feelings for him, and I think this was him like realizing that finally after being the whole time like, oh well, maybe any second now we're gonna fall in love. Is that a cat?
Yeah, that's my cat laying on the green screen right there.
How does it get through the green screen? Because it's in front of it?
Yeah, he's laying on top of the green screen, which is on the bed a little, so he's laying on it. So he's a part
Oh
of
yeah,
the
they went to
ocean.
lunch and drove to dinner and were drinking the whole time. Totally. And then there was a lot of shit-faced arguments and Lexi taking naps. Yeah, I also thought it was fine that Lexi was taking naps. I've definitely been the person who's been like, I have to leave the function to go take a nap. I'll just be back in a little bit. That happened to me recently. Again, I think because also after COVID, it's like I don't know my own. I'm really excited to socialize, and then at a certain point, I'm like, I need to like
Yeah, your social clock runs out.
my social clock runs, my battery runs down, and then I have to nap or like be alone to decompress. And I was just really tired one time and took a nap in the car for like an hour. And then I came back to the party and it was fine.
Yeah, that's
It's
fine.
also like, why would she want to hang out with these people? They're all being fucking assholes to her.
Right. So they come back and then they all go to the Kirka Falls together and then they drink some more. They have a picnic. And then at the picnic, Lexi's like, just 16 more days or something like that. And then Matt's like, unless you leave and she stays. So Lexi's not even talking to Matt. She's not starting a fight with him. She's ignoring him. She's not fucking with Matt. And Matt keeps poking at her and keeping like, I want you to leave and for Delaney to stay. And he basically starts a fight with her. And then they start going at it. And at first, Lexi keeps being like, I'm going to ignore him. I'm going to ignore him. I'm going to ignore him. But then he keeps fucking digging at her. And then she pops off and she keeps calling him a low life. And then everyone's like, Lexi. And it's like, what are you fucking talking about?
Dare
This
you
piece
say
of
his
shit.
mother? I mean, she said his mother should have aborted him, but like,
Well, no,
is
she says that later.
wrong?
At this
Is she
point-
wrong?
At this point, he's like, she's like, you're a low life and I don't fuck with you. And he's like, you're a horrible person. And she says, your mom's a horrible person. So everyone's like, Lexi, which is like clearly like, okay, this fool started the fight. Lexi was ignoring him. So he started a fight and then it's Lexi's fault. Z's like blacked
He's
out.
trying to bait her into a fight, and then when he
And
baits
then-
her into a fight, he's like, "Look, she's fighting."
Yeah, and be like,
Mom,
see,
she's
she's a
fighting
bad
me."
person. And it's like, dude, you're also a bad person. You started this fight by continuously edging at her to be like, you should leave and Delaney should stay. And then Delaney's like, I clearly made friends with the wrong person. And it's like, what the fuck, bitch?
Ugh.
What do you mean the
Delaney-
wrong person? You just watched this fucking idiot start a fight with her. And because she
She's a fucking-
responded, she's the bad person.
She's an idiot.
Racism,
saying-
bitches.
It is fucking racist, and she's an idiot. Delaney is a fucking idiot. Well, shout out to Jerry O'Connell who called Delaney to her face on the show. on
Yeah,
the after
good for him.
show. And he also, again, he said he was diplomatic, but he was like, I don't think Lexi wants to be there anymore. But also, like, you can see why she doesn't want to be there, because everyone sucks and they're all taking Mathew's side because of racismo. Because he and sexismo.
I didn't care for that at
Agree.
all. Like, because it's like, you already know Lexi will pop off if she's been drinking, right? Okay, but she's made an effort to stay out of everyone's business since. She literally the night before didn't go up to the hot tub because she's like, I don't want to like kick it with these people. I'm over it. She's made an effort to stay the fuck away from you guys. So you're want to watch this fool Mathew pick at her until she pops off, which you know she will because she gets a certain way when she drinks. And it's her fault for not being able to ignore this little shitbag that you guys think is such a great person. Well, guess what? A great person wouldn't pick a fight like that.
Yeah, like a great person wouldn't bully a black woman on
Yeah.
TV and think he's the fucking hero.
And
for
know
doing
he'll get
it.
away with it. Knows
She
he'll get
didn't-
away with it.
Because it's like, again, like if she had done something where I'm like, oh yeah, that's fucked up or whatever. But like all the stuff she did was just the stuff they all have been doing, which is getting drunk and like getting drunk and arguing and having like fights. But like she didn't, I don't know. I feel like all the stuff she said about Machu, again, like, yeah, like you said, he shot first. So he can't be mad that she's like, you fucking suck and I hate you. Because
Yeah.
he does fucking suck and we hate him.
Yeah. And then she had a really funny moment, though, I will say, when she's like, he's just jealous. No one will come to his sex parties.
I mean, she's right.
Yeah.
McConnor Talk says, sucks that Courtney was kind of the only person who actively tried to shut Matt down, too. I mean,
Yeah.
I wish she had done it more actively because I do think the boys were rallying around Mathew. So
So
if the
yeah, so
girls, maybe that's, maybe that's why Z came for Lexi also, is because Courtney was defending her. So he was taking out his anger at Courtney for rejecting him on Lexi.
well, so in
I
that
think that's a
moment,
good theory because it did seem kind of misplaced. You were like, what does he care? Like,
yeah.
Lexi didn't even sock him. She like got close to him, but she didn't like. Did she punch him? Did she make contact with his face? I don't remember.
I don't remember, but she did call him that slur, which was not chill.
Right, but it was also like it wasn't. It was a comment on his like aspirations of assimilating, which I
Yeah.
think she just kind of was like reading him a little bit because maybe that is his deal a little bit. He's just
Right.
trying to, just assimilate via yachting, and he's in this family of, his story is so interesting. Um, so I thought that was also just sort of like maybe that hit him where it hurt, where he was like, that's
Yeah,
not what
yeah.
I'm like. I'm not just like trying to be white and like, how dare you say that about me?
Yeah.
But also
Some
South
things he was
Africa.
sensitive about.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
South Africa's a fucked up place. I
Yeah.
mean, everywhere is a fucked up place, but South Africa, the sort of fucked up things are on very, very obvious display, I guess.
Yeah. So they all leave the picnic and they go and they're now going to a dinner, which I'm like, what are these continuous
That was
sit
so
down
confusing.
places?
They were like, okay, we leave the restaurant and then we get in the bus and then we go to the restaurant. I was
Yeah.
like, huh? Usually they would do something else, like go to a club.
Yeah. Yeah. So they go to this restaurant. Lexi's asleep in the car and she doesn't get out forever, and they try and wake her up, but she doesn't show up because she's like, I want to sleep more. And so she wakes up at one point and then shows up. And then Courtney's flowers come to the dinner from Z, and she really appreciates it, but he's so drunk he has like really no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're all too drunk to fuck no
Yeah.
matter what. But that's like they go past it to this point where you're just like, you don't even
Yeah.
remember what you're doing anymore.
Yeah. And then Delaney has that line about how she really believes in physical touch.
Oh God, it like lowers your heart pressure by 20%. Let me give you a hug for 60 seconds. It lowers your blood pressure by 20%. Did you know that human touch is the most coveted of all commodities on the Earth sphere? Just her whole thing, I could just see. And then she moved to Hawaii. We found out also on Watch What Happens Live because that's where she was broadcasting from.
Uh-huh.
Andy was like, very White Lotus of you.
When did she move to Hawaii?
Like after the show. I
Oh.
think a lot of these people moved to Hawaii. Rocky also moved to Hawaii because that's the place
Oh,
where white yoga grifters go.
I see.
That's the place where white women, especially, that are like, I'm gonna find my namaste
Yeah,
in
okay.
Hawaii.
McConnor Talk says it's such a weird production moment that Courtney's flowers arrived or were delivered to that dinner. I agree. That was so weird.
It's
I was like,
totally weird. I mean, it was clearly all staged to be
yeah,
like, hey, look, he's in love with you.
yeah.
He didn't cancel the flowers. It didn't seem like was he warned
Yeah,
that
Lloyd
Courtney
was
doesn't
like, I
like
don't think
him?
it's happening. And he was like, but the flowers. And Lloyd's like, I think
Right.
the flowers are okay or something like that.
Right. It's like just
At
a
this
cute
point.
romantic gesture, but it's like clearly like you're putting your heart in an envelope.
But
So
even
again,
like Courtney,
I do think that explains why he flipped out later. And again, also because I do think Lexi like struck a nerve with him.
yeah. But I mean, Courtney literally is like, oh, being so like, oh, happy about it. But then in her confessional, she's like, oh, it was so awkward. Everyone was looking. So I had to like be cool about it. And I was like, that sucks.
I mean, there's a way in which being nice in that way becomes like a sort of cruelty if you know that the
Yeah.
person is like if you know somebody is like in love with you and you just kind of like let them be and let them do things for you and don't reciprocate, I think that's cruel.
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
she needs to at least say
She
something
has
to
to
him
talk to
like,
him.
we're just friends. Love you as a friend.
Yeah, when
She
they're
needs to stop being
sober.
like, oh, I love you so much. I love you. I love you. Love you. It's like,
Yeah,
no, this is not Love Island.
I
Zoe
agree.
McPhee says white people need to stay the fuck out of Hawaii. Agree. Now more than ever.
Now more than ever. Stop going to
No.
fucking Maui. But
Stop
yeah,
doing
so
it. They don't want you there. And there's a
you're
big,
killing them slowly
yeah.
but surely. So yeah, Z gets up to be like, I'm totally okay, and then like falls out of his chair.
Oh my God. And they're like, let's do another round of shots.
Yeah, and then so Lexi and Matt pop off again. They start fighting again. This time I don't remember who started it. I do think it was Matt again, potentially.
I don't remember. If anybody remembers who
Yeah,
started the
who
but
started
again,
the second dinner fight. And so that leads to Lexi calling Matt the R word, and everyone is shocked. Shocked that she said the R word.
that allowed Matt to climb on his high horse of 1,000 feet and be like, how dare you
Yeah.
call me that? My mother works in special education and I love all of our differently abled brothers and sisters. Just
Well,
like,
here's what happens as well. Delaney's like, whoa, Matt, tone it down. Remember we talked about kindness, and he tells Delaney to fuck off as well. And I'm
yeah,
like, hmm.
he's just a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And there's something really sinister about the way he's now pretending to be a big old sweetie pie.
No, it's creepy and I don't
It's
trust it.
creepy and I don't like it.
He's
It's
a piece of shit.
creepy and I don't understand how it's like working on anyone else.
The way he
And
kept, remember when he wanted Delaney fired, the way he was treating Katie about it?
yeah, he's just a baby.
He's a fucking bad energy. Like what's his name? McConnell said he has bad energy and he's evil and he is someone you shouldn't trust.
Right, he's just got dark energy and
Yeah.
it's still present, especially when he's trying to be nice now and trying to be wholesome. He comes across like just an absolute pit of issues with women.
Yeah.
And all of his stuff with Lexi just seems like he hates hot girls that don't
Yeah, he's got incel vibes.
cater to his every whim, and he likes Courtney because she flirts with everybody. And he's like, Courtney's a dumb bimbo. I like her. Lexi's a mean bitch. I don't like that.
Right.
I'm a
but
bad
then,
chef who's bad at his job.
yeah, and then so Lexi says so that's when Matt's whatever says about a thing about his mom working with like, the kids, and Lexi's like, Matt's mom, she's like, your mom should have aborted you. I believe in pro-choice and you should have been aborted. And I was like,
That was a good walk-off line.
"Damn." And then she walks off.
That was a good last line.
I was like, oh, and everyone's gonna blame Lexi 20 times more.
Because she was like, you should have been aborted. I'm pro-choice, and I believe your mother should have chosen to abort you.
Yeah, and I was like, that's rough, but
Abortion jokes are cool
Unfortunately-
when women make them.
I don't agree with saying stuff like that, but I don't like Matt enough to defend him.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, I'm like, she did, she shouldn't call anyone the R word. And,
Yeah. But if there was someone to call that, that's fucked up. But I just like, I think he's such a bad person that like, I'm like,
I
you know
just
what?
hate him, and I understand also that, like, clearly, it would drive me insane also if everybody was, like, backing him, you
Yeah.
know? Like,
Yeah.
again, it's like like you said before, it was like he was just provoking her to lose her shit so that then he could be like, look, everybody, she lost her shit. And
I
I
can't
think
wait for
that's also
his.
been they didn't even talk about like the racial dynamics of it, but it's
No.
obviously super fucked up. But we've seen on other Housewives franchises when they've recently brought in a lot of new housewives of color, and especially with, new black housewives who are like Garcelle said something like this. I feel like Ebony said something like this where they're just like, I feel pressured to like not ever express myself firmly in these situations because it's going to be like received differently, and you're all going to turn on me and be racist.
Yeah.
And in Beverly
so,
Hills, they all kind of just then did all turn on her and be racist, and then there was like some new Erica Jane news to distract everybody. Is what I remember.
I will say so. Lexi does a lot of like question answer things on her Instagram, and um there people have responded to things, and hold on, I know there's a Instagram, hold on, I'm trying to find it. I know that Lexi kind of explained why she was so mad to begin with. Let's see, when did this drop?
Are you gonna say that she explained how they gave her a bad a bad edit?
No, she like actually talks about like, oh, here we go. So I believe this is, so okay, someone asked, were you also surprised that Z didn't try to be supportive? And she's like, that's just who he is. And just says some other fucking offensive shit. But then like, this is her describing like, oh my god, hold on. I know there was one where she described why she was like so. Oh, okay. So she says
in her family, didn't someone die?
Yeah, her dad died.
Your dad died.
Yeah. Well, she does a lot of like people being like, "Would you go back on?" and her being like, "Yeah, no, absolutely not, because it's like not good for your mental health." And then she kind of like describes like that Mathew like potentially the night before was in the so she's in her room sleeping, and they didn't show this, but Mathew the night before was in the crew mess literally screaming about how she sucks, and she didn't come out and acknowledge any of it because she's like, fuck that. And like everyone was telling her to, or I think Katie was telling Mathew to stop doing that, and he just was yelling like, Lexi sucks, go away Lexi, like unprovoked.
Like
she wasn't even hanging out with them, you know. Remember, she went to bed, she didn't want to hang out
because he's a 5-year-old.
So yeah, so I think she already was like angry with that, and then she was like, yeah, but of course like Katie's not going to come out and say that because Katie would rather like be on Matthew's side or something. I don't know, this is all very like Lexi's side of things, so who knows how real it is.
It's like, if she's that bad, they should have kept Delaney. If they all hate her that much, fucking let the psycho bitch stay. By which I mean Delaney.
Yeah.
If you're gonna like let her stay, but you're all gonna gaslight her, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I agree.
You know? And yeah, like they haven't talked about it at all, but like, yeah, it's probably pretty isolating being a black crew member on a luxury yacht. And it's probably fucked up when everyone at your workplace is racist and you have no one to even commiserate about it with.
Yeah.
Not just limited to yachting. Not limited to yachting.
Yeah, okay, so Zoe McPhee says classic edgelord BS. And then McConaughey says we definitely should have seen that. I mean, yeah, like I don't know why, but like,
yeah, are they in the Mathew business? Come on.
I don't know, man. It sucks. It sounds like it fucking sucks. And I don't know what is what with Lexi and them. Like that is all her side, so I don't know, but like I can't
Yeah, it's
imagine
just
it's
like we
great.
the viewers. It's a suspense movie for we the viewers who all are like, Matthew's crazy and sucks. And if he's tricking all the people around him into thinking those things aren't true, it's because he's a good manipulator. And that's what he and Delaney have in common is they're fucking manipulators who are very like, I love being a manipulator. I love manipulating everyone at my polycule. Uh, well, I do leopard print handstands in my weird full body leotard that I brought two of in case someone else wants to play. Just like, uh, your personality is bad, both of you.
Yeah, okay, here. I think I found the post. So,
I can vamp all day about how Delaney's personality is bad. Also, I think she's a fake ginger. I'll just put it out there. I don't think she's natural. I think she's just like a boring horse girl who dyed her hair red to try and be more interesting, but it didn't work. She's still boring. Um, she kind of reminds me of this one cottagecore vlogger that I do like, whose name is Darling Desi, who I don't know if she has a dark moneyed backstory yet, like all the other cottagecore vloggers, but she looks just like Shelley Duvall.
oh yeah, she
And
does.
yeah, and that's also what Delaney looks like. It's like Shelley Duvall. So you'd think I would like somebody who looks like Shelley Duvall, but that's how bad Delaney's personality is. It ruins it.
Oh my god. Okay. Sorry, I was just going over that. So yes, Lexi says she's going to get a restraining order against Mathew apparently
Good, fuck him.
because she claims he's obsessed with her and that's why he was so terrible to her. And then she said he does not suffer from anxiety. He does it for attention, and that like they made this whole storyline about her being lazy because they had nothing else.
So
I don't know.
well, again, like I don't think they would have kept her on if she was that bad. You know, like they all complained about her, but like I don't think. Again, like why wouldn't they have replaced her with Delaney if she was that terrible? I think they just gave her a bad edit. Zoe McPhee says they protect the problematic white men and it's scary and unsafe. I'm glad Kate walked off the boat after Ashton did what he did. She should have been removed from that unsafe situation long before that night.
Yeah,
I agree.
it's
And
terrifying.
also, not just yachting, for sure.
God, I wish I could find the part where she describes how uh what's his name was yelling at her, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah, I mean that's super scary and threatening and unsafe. And like if that's true and anyone else on the boat witnessed that and can confirm or deny it, because yeah, that's clearly he was making a fucking threatening environment for her and then being like, how dare you feel threatened by me like constantly looming over you with my creepy ugly face. Again, he's not bad because he's ugly. He's just happens to be ugly and he's also bad.
Yeah,
Also, it looks like you have a little pineapple growing out of your head.
I do.
Cute.
I'm Pineapple Gang.
Pineapple gang. Well,
Okay.
any other questions in the chat about this week's Below Deck? Anything else happened this week?
One thing I want to talk about, like Lloyd. What was going on with Lloyd at the end? He seemed to have been having like
using a dark time. I just think they all drank too much over the course of way too long of a period. Like
Yeah.
they started drinking first thing in the morning,
Yeah.
and when you drink that much for that long, you go through different phases of being drunk, and one of
Yeah.
them can be like deep dark sadness.
Well, yeah,
And
so he
clearly-
was like shaking, or he was just like moving a lot, shaking, and then was just like, I went to a really dark place
through
and
a
mental
lot of
health,
stuff.
and I'm just trying to reset right now.
I think for sure, and it's COVID, there's a lot of stuff going on. And that's clearly the place he goes to when he gets really drunk, because we've seen him get really vulnerable
Yeah.
before when he's wasted. It's just interesting. They all go to different zones, and like people are different kinds of drunks, like Lexi is clearly like a little bit of a crazy drunk. Mathew is a fucking angry drunk. And Lloyd is just a wee a wee man, a wee spirit.
He was having a tough time. I felt like he was like really
Yeah.
triggered by what was going on, like the fighting.
Courtney just gets horny. Z sort of like blacks out. David goes into a weird zone.
Yeah. I hope he's okay. I'm gonna post all the stories from this Instagram to our stories so you guys can see like what Lexi has been saying. You can go through them yourselves so you can check them out. So I'm just posting them all to our stories now.
What's our Instagram? Why don't we tell everybody in case they don't
So
follow us?
you can follow us at Deckheads Pod on Instagram and Twitter. I'm posting these all at Deckheads Pod on Instagram right now, kind of going over what has been posted on this Instagram at Below Deck Average, who posts a lot of interesting stuff. Yeah, so go check those out if you want to see what Lexi has been saying about the whole situation. I will say there is like a post about future spoilers, like the next episode and what goes down. So keep in mind, like read the each post has like multiple, so you got to click on them and then swipe through, but just read the front post to see if it's a spoiler for you and what you've seen so far. But yeah, I'm at Anna Hosea on Twitter if you want to follow.
And I'm Molly at Molly Lambert on Twitter.
All right.
All right.
It's our new track to ride out on.
Watching our little show.
Yeah.
So McPhee asks about the weird editing of the dinner where they were like at dinner for 5 hours without eating. Who knows, man? Reality TV. Time is elastic.
I have no idea, but it felt like also they had just eaten, so I don't know why they were eating again that soon. And also it felt like that maybe they meant 2 hours from when they left the original spot and drove. And that's how long Lexi had been in there, but
It's like the Erica Jane Tom Girardi car accident timeline.
Yeah.
It just doesn't add up.
all right, guys, thanks for watching.
Thanks for
Oh,
watching.
one thing we're taking next week off because I'm traveling on that Tuesday, so
Right.
unfortunately I won't be here, and we'll go over next week's episode and the episode after that, the week after next. So sorry about that. We gotta take a week off, and we'll send us any tea you like us to know. You know, we love information for you guys to tag us or DM us. We love it.
Yeah, send us tips.
Send us
We'll
tips
talk to you soon.
and tricks. All right, y'all. Shout out Pineapple Gang. Pew, pew, pew. Pineapple.
Man, some people think I'm a dick. Some people think I'm a nice guy. I'm cool either way. Man, some people think I'm a dick. Some people think I'm a nice guy. I'm cool either way.